Guys and girls, it's finally time to do something with the exhaust on the T5. We've got 287k miles on the clock. The exhaust boxes are a little bit rusted out. They might be blocking up. I've had a couple of exhausts in the past that have blocked up on VWs on a similar mileage. So we have got a straight bore stainless centre box. We've also got a sidebar or side rail from a T5 that's got a dent in it. I'm going to make an exhaust. Let's get into it. Van's up on the ramp. If you've seen previous videos, you'll know that I can only get half of my van on the ramp. Not like in half, cut it in half. I mean, the van's too long, so when I extend the arms on my ramp, they don't reach the jacking points. I probably could put the front on the jacking points because they're heaviest, and then the rear arms on the sill with some bits of wood to spread the load. But anyway, it's just up in the air. If this is the first time watching a video, where have you been? This is my T5, T6 back end, tailgate, rear lights. We've got a exhaust. I've showed you the exhaust already. She's straight through, but a big bore. I think it's about 14 inches long. I've used the exact same exhaust setup on my Caddy, and it sounds fruity. Just quickly, I do not want it loud. I do not want it making all that coo, choo, choo noise up the road. If I can find a clip, I'll insert now. It's not a bit of me. I just know that the exhaust has done many miles. It's heavily exhausted, so I'm going to change it. And I like a free-flowing exhaust. It will sound slightly fruitier, but because it's a diesel, it's not going to be that loud. And we've got a box going in it. I don't know if this idea is going to work. Well, I say that, but I know it's going to work. So the old exhaust box has got a turn down. Imagine if that was my quarter panel. I'd be booing. It's got a turn down, and it's about 2.5 inch, which is slightly bigger than the exhaust. Oh, it looks the same. So that's going to be the tailpipe, but I'm not having it sticking out. You can't see the tailpipe on this, and I have been fighting the urge not to put a massive 5-inch rolled out tip on it, but that's an old Ford thing. That's my old ways. I'm trying to leave bad habits behind. So we're going for the hidden exhaust like the V-dubs have. It's up in the air. I have got some sockets and tools. I'm going to drop it off in the middle. And I'm going to show you this exhaust because it's quite rusty. The pipe is good, but the boxes are rusty. Someone has just Facebook messaged me, maybe on the DTE TV page. Oh yeah, I'm going to get my tools. We're going to get down low and let's get under there. One thing I've noticed, oh, I need that. I just shimmy-ya'd under, and it's all in one piece. I ain't taking the rear arms off to get the exhaust off. Don't think it's going to fit through there. So we're going to have to cut it at the back box. Let me get a cutting tool. Oh, I think I have all the tools, and then I realise I haven't got all the tools. Need to get the whole exhaust off. So I have got safety zogs. Zogs, I hear you say. Do you ever go swimming? 90s, 2000s. All the goggles, swimming goggles, they were called zogs. So we've got the zogs on. Anyway, got a grinder and a air saw. And I am not going to get any cutting from that angle, so I'm going to have to dangerously get right underneath it. Sounds fun. Fun, fun. Cut as far as I can with the grinder, because sometimes these air saws can take a while. Did I cut in the right place? Yeah, Well, it's cut there now. I think I'm cutting it. Well, it took about 10 minutes. It weren't too bad. Air saws can be a bit crap, but it's better than using your hand. Let's say you've just rounded off. You are not fitting too well. Well, that was tight. Now the socket is stuck and bolt is stuck in the end. The cardboard I'm laying on is now heavily dirty. Oh, it's the end of the day as well. My favourite time. It's about 7 o'clock, I think. Oh, that one's alright. No one to interrupt my videos or interrupt me. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, whoa. This, holy shit. Oh, absolutely minging. Oh, not what you want to do at the end of the day, a dirty job. That is absolutely pogoed. Oh, any black stuff in there? Oh, it's quite black. I'll show you in a sec. Now how am I getting the rest off? Any more hangers? Any more? £2 on a 4 dog who wants it, brother. I need my socket. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, a bit of a squeeze under this end. Oh, is that going to come undone? Oh, it better do. Oh, I've got the wrong bloody sockets. Right, don't know if you can see me. Hopefully you can. Hello. Not going to mess about anymore, waste any more time. I'm going to get this exhaust off and then we'll recap. I've got 2 hangers and a sleeve bolt, clamp bolt. I'll get them off and we'll recap because this exhaust is knackered. Well, it only took me 2 minutes after stopping the camera. So the pipe has got surface rust, but it's super thick and it's made of good stuff. So I'm confident there's at least another 5 years left in that. Oh, quite a big old piece. It's the original exhaust, 280,000 miles. First of all, there's the middle box. It's delaminating. To be honest, you could probably take the outer layer off and it'd still be good. Don't know, but it ain't straight pipe. Can you see? We've got stepped one, then one. So it goes through, it muffles up, it does all sorts. I bet you there's loads of black soot in this end. Yes. And there's hardly any this end. There's less on the end than that end. End. Anyway, here's the back box. She's delaminated a few times. But look, whatever the inside is, still quite shiny in there. Anyway, she's going. What is the plan, Dobtech? I hear you say. Don't know, haven't worked out yet. Oh, baloney. Dang. Well, it's just backfired ever so slightly. What am I going to do about that? So my plan was, let me see if you can see what's going on. Can you see that on the floor? No, you can't even see it. It's lucky I check my shots now and again because you could get it wrong. So now let me move that there. Let's check again because I'm not retaking the shot. Oh yeah. So this middle box is to go in there. You can understand that fine. Sweet. Only problem is I've just mentioned it. They're stepped up. And that isn't going at a wonky angle. No, no. Needs to be straight. Because it's got to look half tidy. If I'm making an exhaust, it's got to look half tidy. What's the fitment like? Is that too big still? It is slightly big, but it's weldable. She's weldable. Now I don't know what to do because I've cut my exhaust up and I've cut it off. I'll tell you what, shut it. Let's start it up and see what it sounds like as a straight piped. Make sure it's not in gear. Straight off the ramp into the caddy. I would be crying. Ready? Yeah, it's not even that loud. Alright. It did get a bit louder. But diesels are never as loud as a petrol with no exhaust. Oh, what am I going to do about this exhaust? Ideally, I need 245s to... Or I'm going to have to remake the whole exhaust. And I didn't plan on that. I only planned on 1-2 welds and then chopping the tailpipe out and sticking that on. But that is not going to work. The tailpipe will still chop on easily. But I'm going to have to make something to step that bad boy over. Let me work some stuff out. We'll see what I can come up with. So it's not too bad. What happens with the exhaust is... I'm just thinking now, actually. Yes, okay. So basically the exhaust sits on this side, then it steps over. More into the centre, so the exhaust is in the centre, but there's no reason it needs to sit right in the centre. So instead of the exhaust coming off at one side, swooping into the centre, coming down the centre, loads of centres here, moving back out and then over the hoop, I'm just going straight down. I've already welded that part onto the end of my box, my middle box. That was easy. This bit gets annoying because it does a few duck and dives. So I'm going to cut it here, cut it there, might have to cut it there as well, and move all them pieces around. Because basically, can we see? I hope you can. The exhaust goes left to right. I need it to go straight. Quite a bit more involved than I first thought. But at the minute I've only spent 30 quid on the back box or the middle box. So if some of you are thinking, go out and buy a nice dark side £2,000 exhaust. Joking, ain't ya? Might be nice exhaust, but the price tag's like a phone number. If you can afford it, I'm happy for you. I could probably afford it, but then I'd be eating pot noodles for the next month. So I'd rather spend 30 quid on a box and make my own. Thank you. So a few hours work in the evening, bit of a homebrew, but I'm sure it'll work. I'm going to roll a time lapse because I don't know how long it's going to take or what I'm going to do, so I'll roll a time lapse. Let's get it. Exhaust. We've had to slip the caddy on the ramp. My man Kirk's here to help me with the AC. So we've got the T5 outside, and my AC man, guess what he drives? He's got a caddy. Oh yeah. So we've got the umbilical from one caddy hooked into my one. We've just put a used pump on. We're regassing. Hopefully that fixes the AC, because I buy this van for AC and the AC don't work. I'll get back to the exhaust in the morning. Let me finish the caddy this evening. Oh yeah. Well, it is day 2. My man came to help with the AC on the caddy. He degassed it, fitted a used pump. Reason for fitting a used pump, so it was either a new Chinesian pump or a second-hand genuine one. Went for genuine, pulled the gas, fitted a new pump, put the gas in. Aircon in the caddy is absolutely freezing. Big shout out to my man Kirk, who comes out and helps me out. I appreciate that. In between that, I did get some of the exhaust made, not a lot, considering it's like 12 foot tall and we've done 3 foot. But anyway, we was here till 10 o'clock last night doing the caddy. It is now just past 8 AM. I would like to say I'm ready, but is there ever a ready feeling to lay underneath a motor, grinding and welding? I do have to go and help my buddy in the body shop in a few hours, so a couple more hours making the exhaust. Trying to sound enthusiastic here, guys. But anyway, van's back on the ramp, or half of it's back on the ramp. I need to slide this under, clamp it in the clamp, and then work backwards. Let me reposition the camera. Exhaust is done and made, and I am happy with how it turned out. I have laid the 2 boxes where they were on the motor, and as you can see, it went in one side of the old exhaust, it then come out the other side. So it swooped in, then swooped out, and then swooped back in again. But to save a bit of effort, I made mine straight. So yes, it sits off to one side, it's nowhere close to the body. Yeah, happy days, it's worked out all right. I did spend a bit of time getting the pipes in and the pipes, focus, as straight as possible. I do not like a wonky exhaust. Spent a bit of time getting it straight. I'm no welder, but the welds, focus, are acceptable. Pipe does look a bit minging there, but it's just surface rust and it's solid. That exhaust will last the lifetime of the motor or the time I have it. Don't plan on selling it, but I'm confident it's going to last. Hoops over the rear nicely. I did lower the back end down mid-flight to make sure the hoop went over the rear arm and didn't interfere. Yeah, welds are... What is going on with the focus? Let me try this again. That's better. Welds are okay, I'm happy. And I did manage to slide the whole exhaust out without cutting the end off. A little bit of Tetris, managed to complete it this time. And it does weigh a lot less than the original exhaust. So I've only got a hanger in the middle, there's one at the front, there's one in the middle, and there's one at the back. It weighs a lot less, but for any future purposes, I am going to bolt the other two hangers back on, just in case I might want to put a standard exhaust on. I doubt it, but if I ever sell it or anything like that, it's all back on there. I now need to shimmy under, get it on, and I'll show you a better look with it on the motor, because I'm happy so far. Yes. See? Persistence pays off. Now, if some of you are thinking, cool, that looks a bit ropey, I wouldn't want that on my show queen. Well, if you want to pay however much an exhaust is, dark side, phone number, prices, it's fine. This owes me 30, 40 quid. I'll put a picture up of how much the box is now. So whatever that is, that's how much this owes me. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. I've chopped it up and I've made it happen. And again, the reason I'm doing it, because I want a freer flowing exhaust, happier engine, a little bit of noise, and for not a lot of money. I know the pipe didn't look too good in that last shot, but I've had to cut through it with a grinder. I assure you, it's solid. What's happening? I don't know if it's going to fit yet, just in case I bent it out of shape. And I'll tell you what, it's not heavy at all. We're going for lightweight. Slide you in. Oh, it's looking good. What I'm going to do is get the end rubber on first. And if you've ever played around with exhaust rubbers, they can be a nightmare to get off. A little bit of squirt, a little bit of looby-dooby, WD-40, and it happens. Oh yeah, that went on a lot easier than it come off. So I'm going to bolt it on in place without getting loads of dirt in my eyes. What is going on? Oh, okay. How has that moved? Oh, that's my towing eye. Am I in the way? Probably. How has that moved? Surely it ain't moved. The towing eye, that is. Now, hopefully it isn't too loud. I did re-watch that shot of when I started it with no exhaust on, and it was louder than I thought, so hopefully it's quietened down. Okay, well, I've got a customer here, so we'll be back. Exhaust is done and fitted. I am happy. There is a little bit of hodgepodgery around here where the angle ain't perfect, but it is what it is. I could spend another hour making that better, but I'm happy. And if we look in line with the spare wheel, the tailpipe is square. It's nice and straight all the way along it, so it doesn't look too bad. And I did put another hanger. You can see this hanger is on the left hand side of the exhaust. Well, the one on the back's on the left as well. So when I hung the exhaust, it tried to flop downwards. I could have just done that clamp up and it would have held it, but that would have put a twisting force on the flexi right up the front. So I did put another hanger on the other side, on the right hand side, so that way there's no twisting force on the exhaust, and yeah, it should hold it nice and solid. It is absolutely solid. If we give it the boot test, it's solid. And look, she's chrome. Chrome will get you home. I know there is a few bits that ain't perfect, but I'm happy. And if we get out, because I am laid on the floor, I did give it a little wipe with the polisher, but it's a little bit rusty, is what it is. But the exhaust is slightly higher than the spare wheel, because when I pull up in a parking spot, when you have a long wheelbase, you try to get tucked. So I reverse over the curb, or so the curb is up against the back wheel. Now if we reverse up against something, it's not going to hit the exhaust before it hits anything else. And the hanger is already that low. But remember, you can't see that because it's right on the deck. Happy with that. And from this angle, she's a dark side development, apart from that little bit of fluff hanging off. She's a dark side development chromie. And if we look through the spare wheel, or look through the rear wheel, should I say, we can see a nice bit of chrome poking its head through. Happy days. Haven't started it yet. Let me lower it on the floor, see what it sounds like. We'll start up. We've got Andy. How's it going, Andy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, I haven't started this yet.
It sounds too throaty. Oh, it sounds better.
So I don't want it too throaty. That has got a throaty tone to it.
Get rid of that. Oh yeah. That sounds brilliant. Give me to rev it.
Yeah, go on, Ange. Go on. So if it is too loud, I can put another box in it. No, I don't think it's too loud. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that sounds sweet.
Need to do a little drive-by. So I can't hear it whistling at all, so I might need to adjust my VNT up a little bit. Like your van, if you start it and listen from behind, it sounds like a rocket.
Yeah, like a little whistle, yeah.
Can't hear it at all on this, so that means my VNT needs setting. Anyway, that's a thought process for another time. Let's do a couple of little drive-bys. Little reverse out shot, give it a trev up. Oh my God, tripping over. Need to have a little spruce up of the workshop. It is hanging. Got two mics on. We're like proper YouTuber. Doesn't sound loud in here. Hopefully you can hear me, I'm sure you can. Oh, nearly taking my wing mirror out. So it isn't loud in here. Doesn't sound any different in here, which is what I wanted. Oh yeah. I'm not a fan of hooning my van. Not this one anyway. I just don't think it's made for it. So drive by, first and only time. Smoke out. Backwards drive by because it's easier than backwards drive by, easier. So it doesn't sound any louder in here. I'm happy about that. If people outside can hear a bit of fruitiness, yeah, I can live with that. Didn't want it drony as hell inside. I do need to give it a drive up the road. Maybe I'll insert a clip now of what it sounds like up the road. It's a little bit fruitier outside. If it is too loud on the motorway or something, I'll put another box in it, another 40 quid. But so far, I'm happy with that. Yeah. Sweet. Does sit nice under there. Well, that sits lovely. Doesn't look too hodgepodge. Happy about that. I am. So I mentioned we got the AC working on the Caddy. Happy days. Big shout out to my pal Kirk. Kirky, come and help me last night. This has got AC too. Don't work either. I have got a ambient temperature sensor reading minus 32 degrees. That might be the reason why the AC ain't kicking on in this. Let me turn this off. Chugging away. So I'm going to have a look at my ambient temperature sensor. I'm going to nick it off the Touran. You know, the one wishbone bolt Touran. Might be a broke wire, but something else to play with on this fine Monday. It's not very sunny, but it's nice and warm. Anyway, it's going to about do it for today. I'll see you in the next one, guys. I'm out. Fruity.